Hello and welcome to the next podcast. Today it's going to be a bit different. I'm going to talk tiny little bits and pieces about MS related, but actually today it's Halloween. Woo! Yeah, I'm not the greatest impressionist, I know. I get it. You can all laugh. It's acceptable. Tell me I can't do impressions, that's fine. The ghosts can laugh at me when they're ready, not a problem. Casper, shh, not now. Even when you're trying to do sensible stuff. Oh, Casper, he never goes away, does he? There you go. Such is life. Right, so, today we're going to talk ghost hunting. I know that's a bit different. Many years ago, it's a hobby that I had. We had a team. We would go round to haunted locations. We were very lucky with some of the locations actually that we did manage to investigate. I won't give full names for them, but I mean there was a castle. One of the castles, I tell you what, it was absolutely superb. And I don't know if I'm allowed to give the name, so I won't do. But it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, in terms of kit, we were very kitted out. Had a K2 meter, which anyone that doesn't know, it flashes lights when it's around electrical energy, and apparently the ghosts are electrical energy. They can give off that. And yeah, this K2 meter at the time, it wasn't used very much anywhere outside of the United States, so I actually had to have it imported. Both me and Richard, my brother, we actually had one each imported, and they were quite useful. I had my tri-field meter, which cost an arm and a leg back then. I'll be honest, it was very expensive, but again, very helpful. We actually spent money on a proper night vision CCTV outfit, which did cost a lot of money. There's quite a few bits and pieces, I'll be honest with you, that we had. And I'll be honest with you, I've actually still got my kit. I haven't used it in a very long time, I'll be totally fair. But yeah, my kit is still floating about. I just haven't had chance. We actually got invited a few times to go to private homes to try and help homeowners and whatever else with any kind of issues and whatever they was having. So yeah, we did that a few times. But there's one place in particular, a castle. I won't name it, but this castle, we were there, and we was investigating using all our expensive pieces of kit, and we just decided let's try something a little different. We was getting good reactions off some of our equipment, but we actually got a tea light candle. We took this tea light candle, and there was supposed to be a spirit in the area where we were, and we lit the candle, and we're talking to this spirit, and we asked the spirit to light the lights on our K2 meters and set off tri-field meters, and we actually had a motion sensor barrier which got set off, which very impressive, I'll be totally fair. But what we did with the candle, we said to the spirit, can you extinguish that candle? Literally within a few seconds, candle went out. It was like, okay, that's a bit strange. So we relit the candle. It sat there for a couple of minutes perfectly fine, flickering away as a candle does. All of a sudden, another member of the team says, "Oh, go on then, extinguish that candle again." Instantly, the candle goes out. And as a team, we're looking at each other going, all right, this is actually quite interesting. So we did it a third time. We lit the candle. We actually moved the candle to a different area. And it's still in the same room, but we moved it to a different area, and again asked for the candle to be extinguished. Give you 2 guesses what happened to that candle. Yep, you're correct. It went out. Very, very impressive bit of evidence. I'll be totally honest about that. It was fantastic. I mean, the room temperature was cold and all sorts. And from time to time, you'd be stood there, and actually it'd feel quite warm. All of a sudden, you'd just get this tiny little cold breeze. Yeah, it was quite interesting. It really was quite interesting. That particular castle, there was quite a few bits and pieces that went on. A lot of it temperature changes and the K2 meters and tri-field meters going off. There's another one that we investigated, which is a pub in Nottingham, a very old pub. And we investigated it a couple of times. And downstairs there's like a small cave system. Now, we actually didn't realise what we'd done, because we was helping out at the time. We was helping out a investigation that was going on. And we'd left a toy down there, which we used from time to time, which when you moved this toy, it would light up. But we left it sat in a particular place. We went upstairs for a bit of a break. Everyone sat up there. There's no one downstairs. We had the CCTV system set up down there. So we goes back down after break. Toys on the floor. Didn't really think anything of it. Thought, okay, we'll leave that for the time being. It may well have just fallen. When it came to do evidence review, a couple of days after, we checked back. That toy, okay, that little toy, we actually saw it lift up a couple of inches straight in the air, and then it got, I'm not going to say thrown, but it didn't fall as a toy would fall. It starts lighting up while it's in the air, which it never used to do. It's normally when it hit the floor it would start lighting up, or if you shook it. So again, that was a really interesting piece of evidence, and one that we was quite pleased with. There was a place in London that we investigated actually, which the rumour had it was incredibly, and this is a very famous place, I'll be honest, again, I don't think I can give the name, so I won't do, just in case. But it's a very famous building, really famous building. And it was myself and Richard investigating it. Actually, nothing happened. We investigated that building twice, and it was nothing. Literally, quiet as a mouse. And allegedly, it's one of the more haunted buildings in the area of London it is. Nothing. Dead quiet. Silent. It was a good night out, don't get me wrong, we enjoyed ourselves, but there wasn't a great deal going on. Again, I mean, there was one where a few of us went out and investigated a disused Air Force base, which is now just a woodland. And it was very strange woods. Very, very strange woods. Now, we're all very au fait with animal noises and whatever else. There was all sorts of these screams and just about everything going on. And in all truth, we're sort of looking round at each other going, that's not a fox. And no matter what we did, where we went, looking round, we couldn't find anybody. It was really strange. But brilliant. Really entertaining, and it sort of opened our eyes a little bit to, okay, maybe there is a little bit more to it, because there've been a lot of stories of this woodland, and yeah, as I say, I mean, those screams were very interesting. It sent a shiver up your spine, that's for sure. And again, I mean, some of the I won't discuss private dwellings too much, but some of the private buildings we did, some bits and pieces going on and some hits on the electrical meters and whatever we had. Very surprising. Really, really surprising. There's another pub that we'd investigated in Lincoln. Now, it's probably one of the best EVPs I've ever heard. The electric voice phenomenon, a voice you're not going to hear with your ears at the time. It's one that imprints onto your device. We had no end of voice recorders that we would use. EVP is something we always used to try and pick up, and yeah, we did pick up quite a few over the years. But this one was fantastic. There was 2 of our team members. They was in the back area of the pub. Now, they came out, they'd done all their calling out, asking if anyone's there, all that sort of stuff. Now, on reviewing, they came out, we sat down, we had about 5 or 10 minutes. On reviewing, there was a voice when they was asking if anyone was there. And that voice, very, very low, raspy voice, and I'll try and sort of get it as close as I can. I'm not going to be able to get it brilliantly. But the voice, it said, "You are not one of us." As I say, I'm not a great impressionist, but that's what that voice said on that EVP. And I'll be honest, I don't know if ever, from any other investigations anywhere else, I've ever heard an EVP quite so telling and quite so chilling. It really did send a chill up your spine when you listen to it. But I'll be honest with you, it was it was very interesting. We actually investigated that pub again a few weeks after, and I made the suggestion that we play that EVP while we're investigating and just see what happens. And again, we've got our video recorders playing, we've got a CCTV system recording, all that sort of stuff. So we played that noise, and the feeling in that pub was ridiculous. Genuinely, it went from feeling just like a normal pub to almost like a freezer. It went stone cold, it went deathly quiet. It was strange. Yeah, I must admit, from our point of view, we were sort of thinking, have we woke something up here? Because all the way through the remainder of that investigation, it was as if he was being watched, but nothing else happened. Literally nothing else happened. It was all feeling, and it could be the sort of thing where we were sort of putting that feeling into our own head, but at the time, it was a little bit freaky, I'll be honest. But yeah, it was brilliant. To say those days, was involved in the paranormal side of it for a very long time. Again, there was an investigation where there was allegedly a very nasty spirit, and me being me, I'll try and get some information, see if I can get some kind of reaction from this spirit. So I was being a bit mean, I'll be honest. I was sort of saying to it, if you think you can, come and show us what you can do. And at the time, I was on my own at the back end of the building. The others were down the far end. They could see me, and they all started calling up saying, "It's looking really dark around you." And I'm like, it feels a bit weird, I'll be fair. And all of a sudden, I felt this burning feeling at the bottom of my stomach, actually on my skin. I thought, that's a bit strange, so I carried on. And all of a sudden, one of the others went, "We need to get you out of here." So I come walking down the bottom, and I'm thinking, that's a bit sore, So I lifted my top up, and there was a scratch, 3 fingernail scratch on my stomach. Very weird. Very, very weird, very sore, until I took 1 step out of the building. Took 1 step out, scratch disappeared. Odd? Very. Halloween-y? Absolutely. But yes, these are stories, they are experiences I've had. I just thought I'd share these, seeing as it's Halloween. We'll honour the day, and in terms of the MS side of things, it's same as. Nothing different from the last podcast, I'll be honest with you. I'm plodding along and doing the best I can. Well, thank you all for listening. It is a bit of a different one today. As I say, I just wanted to honour the fact that it's Halloween. You all have an awesome Halloween, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.